It's raining with rain coats. Is the horrible weather, but independent of the weather, I know the Hego team is with me. At 7 a.m. in Polish time, early bird catch the worm. No one staying in front of Schindler's factory. As you see, 3, 3, 2, 1. We preceding the stage that like Schindler's Jews walking from concentration camp PLASZOW to Schindler's factory and on the way back. 3, 3, 2, 1. We see if somebody is connecting. We got now the better quality view. As you see, is the strong rain. Okay, 2 people in the house. Thank you, welcome. You see no one staying in front of Schindler's factory. Krzysiu is there, perfect. And we walking about 3 kilometers to former concentration camp PLASZOW, diving a little bit in the historical facts, but always in the curious fact. And such view is very rare. Here, Schindler's factory like a Taj Mahal, 1,000 visitors every day. Even today is the long queue would be there. And Lipowa Street completely empty. Now, in the former factory is, for instance, here some wine bar with even Georgian wine. The Georgian wine is the next. Then is even in the Japan Art New local. And then is the Museum of History of Krakow with a famous exhibit. But we don't proceed closer to the Schindler's factory. We just walking to Camp PLASZOW. You could visit that place also with Tom Guide Krakow, with live guide. That's why let's go. Don't miss the time. Yes, very thank you. Hello, PA, bye. Just Beth, thank you. You are always present. I tried in the slowly way explain some matters connecting with the current situation. Even in Poland, we got the walk 3 kilometers from the Schindler's factory behind me. Already started, and Lipowa Street. And from Lipowa Street, we walking to a camp PLASZOW. Here's the pizzeria Momento. Now price for pizza in Poland is about $6 or $7. It's the small pizza. But we've got the special chain of grocers. There is the much cheaper. I'm going to prepare such live stream with the cheap gastronomy in Krakow. It's raining, strong rain. That is in the former Schindler's factory was created in 1935. At first were Jewish owners. The 5 years was the Deutsche Emailwarenfabrik, and after war was the radio transistor factory. And that building is the taken by apartments for students. That was the former radio transistor factory, Telpot. And that is the always hidden street, the Romanowicza. You see here such new graffiti project, botaniczna, wodna. It's thanks for support, Ewelka. Look at this. There was the executions of SS on the Polish citizens. Botaniczna, wodna. They showing also Dąbie at the end of war. 69 Poles shot, 1 survived. Krematorsk, they're showing the crime of Ukraine, in the crime in Ukraine. Then Pomorska, Gestapo headquarter and arrest that killed a lot of Poles. Schindler was also arrested in the Pomorska Gestapo prison. And then Izium, again the Ukraine, symbol is the birds. Then pharmacy under Eagle, that is the ghetto, Krakow ghetto. Irpień and Fabryka Schindlera, of course, showing It's the same. The lower part is symbolizing the barbed wire. And then Bucha, I think world famous is the crime of Russians in Bucha. And Wola Justowska, that is execution of Poles. That is the new mural that's showing different crimes, but the Nazi Germany crimes connecting with current Russian crimes. And Romanowicza Street, we walking Romanowicza Street, Romanowicz. I think you've got a good horizontal view. I didn't know how, but the technology enabled me to put the horizontal camera. I know you are early morning. Thank you that you appreciate Monday morning. You switch your duties and they try to watch my live stream. Early bird catch the worm. I catch the worm, and look at this. Here you got a such view to the industrial part. Still, that is still any steel workers doing something, and that is the typical industrial flair from around the Schindler's factory. And who was the Tadeusz Romanowicz? He was the liberal politician and journalist, member of Austrian State Council and Galician Parliament, and chairman of SOKU, Association Anti-Russian Insurgent imprisoned in Olomouc jail. Romanowicz published many works about the policy and economy, where was pleading against conservative formation called Stańczyki. In Krakow, he was honored with own street in 1913. That's why Tadeusz Romanowicz, that street is called after him, and is completely not connected with Oskar Schindler or Jewish matters. There is not allowed to park here. Obviously, the pavement is wide and there should be more space for parking, but it's not allowed. Here's any film studios behind the Schindler's factory. Look at this. We're walking on the backstage of the Schindler's factory, and here is the showing such thing. But it's never stopped raining. But I think we're getting in the proper time here, PLASZOW. I remember my live stream a few years ago was the 3 hours I walking, because if I stop, but then I calculating time up to 1 hour, about the maximal 55 minutes even. I think it's not infeasible to do the long lives. No one had the time to watch the fully. But appreciate the active following. Also any budgets, we say tipping. Thank you. Questions, of course, questions. I don't know if the Tati Feta, thank you for staying in touch. We're going, you see, it's raining with cats and dogs. Look at this, what's going on. Look at this. That is the rain, current rain. And we're going to Camp PLASZOW in the such rain, such rainy live stream. The train, we're going under the tunnel, the viaduct between Krakow and Odessa and Crimea. Always this question if the Hitler was in Krakow. He was 3 times passing Krakow to the meeting with Mussolini in the east, but didn't stop in Krakow. Just is the railway Krakow direction Lwów, Odessa and Crimea. And now we are getting to territory of on the edge of the Ghetto B. The former Jewish ghetto, 1941. Imagine decision of creating Krakow Jewish ghetto was not of the Dr. Hans Frank, the Nazi governor, but of Dr. Otto von Wächter. And he made the decision, thank you Evelka, make the decision of the relocating remained Jews to ghetto. There were about 15,000 Jews remained in the district Krakow, and 3,000 Poles from here, from district Podgórze, we are in the district Podgórze of Krakow, were relocated to Krakow, to Kazimierz, and here located over 15,000 Jews, 5 times more than was the feasible space, like a 2 square meter per person, 8 Jews for one window, 22 for one loo, for instance. We getting special passage to do getting the original fragment of the ghetto wall. Still new apartments going to be built. On the right there were neglected houses, completely left abandoned houses, and now the apartment blocks, that's a new kind of apartment blocks. You could write the opinion, what do you think about the such architecture. Here's even little apartments, Emalia, because in the Schindler's factory were made email pots, and Emalia, email. And we are very close to the edge of Ghetto B. In one moment we see more life. Of course, there are school children now not at school. There's vacations, and it's the less traffic. If there's normal school year, it's the much more busy. And here we walking. We passing close the Żabka, Polish 7-Eleven shop, shortcut. Is new passage. Thank you, Bev. Again, big thanks for all still supporting and encouraging me to do live streams. Obvious today I've got the American group and it's enough work. But you know, I like live streams. Oh, that's the, and I like your publicity that you say. Okay, with everything to be with Tom. Look at this, now I found a beautiful height in the edge of the ghetto. That is the nice tunnel, and parking for bikes. Look at this over there. So many bikes in Krakow. People, instead of cars, they're going by bike to work. And in one moment, I don't want to leave the such beautiful new apartment passage. We say, I could call that passage at the Ghetto B. It's beautiful new, you know, you could now in the very luxurious way in Krakow, now there's such new apartments, they got a good space, like even 70 square meters. In Berlin, 1 square meter costs 7,000 euros, in Krakow 3,500 euros, this is the average, is not the, I'm sure not such always fixed price, but it's about 3,500 euro in Krakow for 1 square meter, in Berlin double more. That's why here's the a car getting like a former ghetto gate number 2, and here was the gate number 3. That was the last tram stop for the trams 3 or 6. And in one moment we see original ghetto wall, still in good shape. No graffiti or things like that. That's most important that if somebody said, oh, they are Polish hooligans or so anti-Semitism, look at this, the wall is in beautiful shape, no damage. 12 macevot. I'm going very slow that you see better. One moment, I'm coming back. And behind the wall was the Jewish ghetto. That is the original ghetto wall, close the gate number 3 that trams went through. There were scenes from the Schindler'S, the girl in the red coat running here. That is the Lwowska street. The windows were bricked up, like over there. Look at this, windows bricked up. and Lwowska. Lviv is now in the West Ukraine, and that street, the Jews, they were for the last stage, they have to leave the ghetto. There was the scenes of liquidation of ghetto. The remained Jews, about the statistics says 6,000 Jews, they were run to PLASZOW concentration camp, and we're going there. We're going that route that the remained Jews of Krakow left forever Krakow, because now Jewish community is very, very pretty small. There's like 300 Jews only in Krakow. Before war, over 70,000 Jews. And have a look, here is in Hebrew and Polish written sentence. Here lived and suffered and were killed from Hitler perpetrators, and from here they were the last way to the concentration camps, but the death camps, but it's not written what kind of what names of camps. The plaque was made in 80s, 1941-43. There is the piece of ghetto wall, and that was of course Bełżec. In each camp, if we research the story of Jewish camps, there were 90% of victims, they were Jewish, 90% Auschwitz, but in Bełżec 100% Jewish, and only Liberator mural is the crazy thing happened, you know. Then there was the apartment block, and now is the covered. That was the Liberator. I could tell the story about the Liberator while we walking to PLASZOW. Let me cross safely a zebra, because it's very nervous day, because Monday morning all drivers going to work, and I have to stop talking and waiting for gentlemen. Waiting for gentlemen, okay? He thought I got the radar, that's why they're stopping. Okay. Okay. Okay, and now I tell you how was the situation during the Warsaw Uprising 1944. Home Army, we say inglorious bastards, asking for help, British and Royal Air Force. And Stalin didn't permit to land the planes on their own zone. Stalin was very close Warsaw on the other river side. And Royal Air Force sending the planes from Italy. And they got the flight over Krakow, imagine over 1,000 kilometers, and then back without refueling. And during such action, two Royal Air Force pilots and one Royal Australian Air Force pilot were shot over the Schindler's factory. They were on the way back after airdrop over Warsaw. And that was like a signal for Oskar Schindler to remove the factory to Czechoslovakia. That was in autumn 1944. That street was bricked, there was no way, and we are on the edge of Ghetto B, for unfit Jews, so-called. Jews, they called Ghetto B as the Ukraine. They said, that is the apocalyptic view on the naked bodies eating of rats, 60 plus, 14 minus disabled. And that was the gate number 2 and edge of Ghetto B. And that school got the bricked windows, and we see one piece of the ghetto wall that only 1% of tourists see that. That is the second part, that is a little far away of beaten tracks, and they didn't have power to walk to that second original piece of ghetto wall. And imagine that school, the folk people school, that was such the in time of Austria created school. It was a simple closed, and windows were bricked up. You see, now is the Liceum Zofii Chrzanowskiej w Krakowie. And one moment you see the most touchy view. Sorry, I have to hit with the... Oh my God. That is the original piece of wall. On foundation of family Moses was restoration, but the wall is getting to the quarry and was the old quarry here. And look at this, the ghetto wall, and just on the Aryan side, playing ground. That is the like a Campio di Fiori, the famous point that from one side people enjoying life, and they say, oh, just is there any final solution behind the wall? Behind the wall was the Jewish ghetto. You see, early morning, listen now the sound of rain and like a sound of history. One moment. Listen the rain. Any questions on the part? We are on the halfway to the PLASZOW, and we're leaving the area of former Jewish ghetto that existed 2 years. There were over 1,000 ghettos created of Nazi Germany. The first project was relocating Jews to Madagascar, or even in the mandatory of Palestine, creating any space for Polish Jews, 3.5 million. Then was the decision of making a huge ghetto between Auschwitz and like a Ukrainian frontier in the south. But the cheaper option was the creating big ghettos in the big cities. The first were in the north of Krakow, Warsaw, Łódź, and Krakow ghetto was created late. Look at this, the next spooky house, but it's not in ghetto. But here's the Kinga Street, and the house on the right was so old that just collapsed. There was anyone back there because the fire and collapsed, and that house also waiting for refurbishing or making restoration. That is the former name was the Wiericka Street. Wiericzka is the salt mine, 10 kilometers east from Krakow. And we walking about the 1 kilometer to see, you see direction to Sandomierz, Rzeszów, Rzeszów. That is such the creator of the town was the knight Rzesz, and Uf is the this. That's why the name also Kraków. Kraków, this Krak. Uf is this. And modern, we say, speed Krakow agglomeration train line, the viaduct blue. Kraków Auschwitz. On the right is the 55 kilometers only to Auschwitz, and essential railway junction. Here is the house under God. On the left, that beautiful building, and here the figure of Godfather. And the Catholic cemetery in Podgórze, on the such green hill. Okay, we got the green, that's why we use that biker still. Okay, just okay, we managed. Okay, excellent. The most essential junction we've managed. That direction is the road to Nowa Huta. Then the modern viaduct going to the main railway station Kraków. Now with our trains going faster, obviously it's not the shocking speed, like a 160 kilometers per hour intercity trains. and then you could get them in Pendolino, Krakow, Warsaw in 2 hours 15 minutes, or with little delay 2 hours 20 minutes, Krakow, Warsaw. But if you're going to destination Rzeszów, for instance, you are also feasible to getting in about the 1.5 hour. Even the distance is 155 kilometers. Or to Wrocław is still long way. Wrocław is only 270 kilometers west, and we go there over 3.5 hours. We're going to the tunnel on the railway Kraków-Auschwitz, and we are on the way to entrance to the former Nazi Germany concentration camp PLASZOW. On the way, Robotnicza Street, the old houses you see immediately visible. You see is the grass on the roof. Robotnik, robota, it's mean work. Just a worker street, laborer street. Such simple name. I think there was the glass on the street. And that is the close the railway station Płaszów. Polish L with slash is the pronounced we, like a whiskey woman. And then we go. Then we go the Wielicka Street. We're passing the second Catholic cemetery, and we are just and the gate to they're making new information about the concerts on the Wawel Castle, classical music, and it's still raining today. Temperature plus 17 degrees Celsius. No wind, is windless. There's the gain. But the permanent rain, the whole day rain, maybe is the problem with floodings again, because if you got the 1 day permanent rain, they've got the problem with floodings. And Polish petrol stations Orlen. You see on the top symbol white eagle. The Polish flag came from the legend of the three brothers, Lech, Czech and Rus. Lech saw the white eagle nest, sunset, and he said that is the Małe capital, Gniezno, eagle nest. And Polish flag is from the coat of arms, white eagle, and the red background is the sunset. Thank you for supporting, for new joiners, sharing, of course, sharing, tipping, Asian friends also very important. But welcome my ex-Hego team. As you see, I never stopped streaming. There was not only time of COVID, there was the 5G technology. Now I think all of you got the excellent streaming, and that is important. Obviously, we got a very rainy day. For filmmaker, sunshine is not good. It's always cloudy weather is much better. It's the better quality. That's why I think. Hello, Jessica. Good morning. I stay 17 degrees Celsius, and one moment we're walking narrow path is invisible. Usually people going straight ahead, but then we see something special. We see remains for the former railway PLASZOW Auschwitz death camp, extermination camp, Auschwitz-Birkenau. In one moment, look at this. I walking such path during the march commemorating liquidation of ghetto. People climbing also that path. It's very special. Greetings to the organizer of Jewish festival. And have a look here. That is the that is like we say for people that drinking alcohol, they like going such paths. But that here are remains of the former. Oh, this look like a sun. Sunshine coming. Look at this. It's incredible. Such weather, and we got there like a sunshine. You see, sunshine is the little hope. Okay, but then the railway was of course dismantled. Amon get ordered to build the side line of the lane to Auschwitz. And look at this, there's like a little sun. You see the sun is coming. Ah, that is the joke. Look at this rainbow. Rainbow? That is the crazy. Picking? Okay. Okay. I don't know the other maybe is the chance for the better weather. Very rare I remember the permanent rain. Always is any gap for a few hours. There is no rain. I hope, because today I've got an American group we're walking of the Kazimierz Jewish town, former Jewish town, then ghetto, Schindler's factory, and then going to salt mine Jeliczka. That's why for today I got a full day tour as the driver also. Rainbow lakes, yes. You got the sun, please prepare the sun blockers. And on the left was it's like a railway PLASZOW, and on the right the second Catholic cemetery. And street is called Ludowa. Ludowa, it's mean like people's street, common people. We were People's Republic of Poland, part of communists. And in one moment we getting gate to former concentration camp PLASZOW. Thank you for the such live stream events. Sorry that I didn't manage to put on the Google Calendar, but I think I got so good friends like Beth. They sharing information about the live stream, and there's still chance to share. And because we are just at the edge of former camp PLASZOW, and everything is ahead of us. At first you see the completely new apartment blocks in the quarry, I would say number 3, because there were 4 limestone quarries in PLASZOW. You know, at the beginning of year I got the license of the state organized museum concentration camp PLASZOW, and according the facts there were 4 quarries, but visible now only 2. 2 that full of grass, invisible quarries. But in the quarry number 4, Steven Spielberg took that quarry for Schindler's List scenery. That was the Schindler's List scenery. Look at this, there's secret gate to get through. There's always tactic to get big thanks, Elka. There's such some hot dog, okay, perfect, or we say bread with sausage. And that was the quarry number 2. And they were mainly the Polish workers. That quarry was outside of Camp PLASZOW. We focusing on the Camp PLASZOW and villa of the cruel commandant Amon Goeth. Because if you watch the Schindler's List, you remember there is the kindergarten, Montessori, bank, there's the Green Bank, and in one moment we getting Jerusalem Street and busy road to the east. That direction you going direction Ukraine, Crimea. There's the main road from city center Wielicka to the east. Then the motorway A4. Now you could get the Ukrainian frontier in about the 2.5 hours. Okay, maximal 3 hours. Okay, because it's the motorway. It's getting through gates is the problem on the live stream. And look at this Jerusalem Street. And we are very close to main gate to Camp PLASZOW. You see the people were quartered here even few years ago, because in time of COVID that block of flats, Jerusalem Street, the red, was finished in time of COVID. There's the fresh buildings. Here was there almost no buildings, and before war there was such a small village close Krakow, Wola Duchacka. The name PLASZOW was the wrong giving by Germans, because he was the district Wola Duchacka. is like a duch, it's mean ghost, like a ghost village, ghost town. And of course they make a lot of mistakes, and easier was the pronounce PLASZOW, and they call the camp not Płaszów but the PLASZOW. Żabka was, yes, that was such on the way. 7-Eleven shops, and you see the people using edge of the former concentration camp as the parking. Is the still problem with parking space in Krakow, and you see the people parking just in the bush, in the mud, the cars diving in the mud. I don't like such muddy parking space. Oh, you see the parking inside of the forest, and you see a lot of green. Krakow, 70% territory of Krakow. There's the green area. And one moment, thank you for sharing, commenting, tipping. And one moment we see very special building. One of the buildings, 3 buildings, the Amon Get, the Jew sniper, Jew butcher from PLASZOW, stayed in PLASZOW. There's not only private villa, he was in the 3 places. The first place was the former Jewish sanatory, but no remains, and the bakery in the camp. That was the first place. Second was here at the main gate, building, red villa so-called also. There was also red color, but now the villa got the other color. You see on the left, that was exactly that building. And it's very touchy because here was exactly we crossing the former gate to Camp PLASZOW, and that villa was also casino for SS. They got a lot of pleasure. Brother got the under place, but there is the Jerusalem Street, and that villa is completely number 10 in Jerusalem Street number 10. Thank you, Jessica. Big thanks for the support. Be great. And in one moment you see there was the place for SS roll call ground and the main gate, the prisoners entering the camp. Have a look. That at first the view on the camp, we entering from that side and we walking, it is the roll call ground, 80 hectares big PLASZOW, and we walking to see the villa of Amon Get, the villa that now is the private owner. That is the territory of PLASZOW, and look at this, the prisoners walking inside of the camp. Alina Nelken said, I remember when sitting on the wall and I was looking at the distant meadows and trains vanishing in the distance, and I realized that all these things were not intended for us. The main camp gate in Jerusalem Street, and look at this, that place was the SS roll call ground. They were all together with auxiliary service, Blackies on the right, 1000, and that is the roll call ground of SS on that place. And here was also commandantur, we say headquarters buildings and camp staff barracks, and main gate that I show you there. The commandant's commandantur, so-called, the headquarters was the U-shaped, and on the other part was the Wachkaserne. Yes, and why I show you the discovery during the training and information about the such camp. We got to see here the piece of stone that is the visible, the former Jewish matzevot were put into stone. Look at this. Here you could see inscription, something in German. You see the inscription, or you see inscription under 2 leaves. Inscription is the visible. That's why, you know, the PLASZOW walk is the still ecological discovery. Here is the still no mud. I try to walking out of grass, there are gravel paths and the maintaining is much better than a few years ago. And we walking through the part that was for former Jewish cemetery soon on the right side. And we see the former funeral parlor. Hello, hello, thank you for sharing. As you see, there were the three zones. And on the territory of Camp PLASZOW, there were two Jewish cemeteries. The old Jewish cemetery and the new Jewish cemetery. That is such the places that I show you on the way. And that was the I show you that is such traces of the railway going to Auschwitz on the path. But you see the gravel path. There's the marking point of the edge of the former Jewish cemetery, and behind Happy Flat. That is such. And you see the ruins. Funeral house that was the before war of the very talented Jewish architect created, Adolf Siódmak. Have a look. That is such the model. We make the model with information in Polish, English and Hebrew. In even Braille, blind people could. The funeral home of the new Jewish cemetery. And that's this and this. And even full information. The photo is showing the funeral parlor after opening in 1937. The construction, when the construction of the railway siding began to Auschwitz, the buildings were blown up. There was the last destruction, like destruction of the Jewish temple. There was such very painful. But the opening of, the funeral parlor was the 6th April 1932. That was such the moment, but they completely demolished, blown up by the decision of Amon-Get in 1944. As you see, he needed over there the new railway. That was such, but we are in on the edge of cemeteries, and we walking little up to see the roll call ground, the old Jewish cemetery, and the first place of mass grave that Jews shot in Krakow just during different roundups. We say razzias. The bodies were taken here and the burying in the mass grave number 1. Altogether, there were 3 mass graves. Here, number 1, close the old Jewish cemetery. Number 2 was the H Hill, Chujowa Górka, and the 3rd, Sipowy Dołek, C Hill. There are such the 3 places. And one moment we see that very special modern method of non-invasion researching. Behind was the SS hospital for about the 200 patients as such. Also my discovery, but it's the full bush there. But look at this, the map. That is the very special and numerical model of area with the mass grave marked 2016. That's why such as grave is the marking there. Testimony of Dina Landau. Took my mama and I saw them walk their victims to the cemetery where grave had already been dug. I didn't see the execution. My black leader then told me that my mother died. Refused to strip naked and wore her petticoat. Yes, because he was then the mass grave, the Jew had to. How about the? Oh, there's something. Thank you, Beth. We calculating victims of about the 6,000 victims. I knew the higher record of victims, but according to the new research, 6,000 is still the big amount of the victims of the Krakow ghetto, and they also the prisoners that were here, but 90% of prisoners were Jewish. And on the left, there is the no remains of the Polish barracks. Here is the Polish prisoners. Then we see the photo later showing the barracks, but you see a marking roll call ground, 100 by 100 roll call ground. And we see the early situation in the camp. On the right, the same in the bush, delousing station was on that place before 1942, funeral home of the old Jewish cemetery. There's also information in Hebrew. That's why now we're getting very good information. To visit with guide is always recommended, because alone you don't know in which system to walk. Is there too many delays, too much or everything. Rain is still getting heavier. That's why we're stopping at the cemetery of Jewish religious congregation of Podgórze since 1887. And on that place, the place is in a special way marking with the such stones in the grass marking. The people, they walking with dogs. They should be aware of dogs on the territory of a Jewish cemetery. At the moment I didn't catch any dog. Here the wall, as you see, is getting to the left, because we got the original remains of the former wall to new Jewish cemetery. I see the first dog running. Exactly from the side that behind was the Amon Get villa, and on the hill have got the dog run for the own cruel dogs, Dobermans or German Shepherd, the tearing. We walking direction the two houses that are in original shape, grey house and red villa of Commandant Amon Get. That is the situation. Path, because the grass is so matchy. Big thanks for support. Any one of you? I see the two dogs, even not one dog, but the two dogs, and that is the everyday situation that overcome the running dogs. That is such the still discussion between the owners of dogs, joggers. They wish to jogging here, people doing any recreation on the place. And the most cruel roll call here, that was of the children. The children were catching with the German lullaby, Mommy buy me the hobby horse, and they were packed to the trucks and sent to Auschwitz. 300 children, only 6 survived the gas chambers. They were all were killed in gas chambers. That was the children roll call. And as you see, I used the new method in the rainy day. I walking the gravel path that avoid the matchy grass, because then I got a completely wet feet. And look at this, what kind. Today I've got the sandals. But the prisoners, they were like a bare feet. They've got the wooden so-called clogs. In the winter temperature minus 30 degrees Celsius. Thank you, live stream. And what to do with the dogs that running on the memorial? That's still unsolved situation. As you see, especially early morning, that is such the territory for the dog run. And look at this, I discovered the method of the getting bare feet. Yes, not as the there's not mud. There's the but the most important what they said. Nusia Horowitz said there was the no grass. They were so hungry that even grass was eaten. There was no grass. That's why they dreamed to get some grass to eat. They were so hungry. You've got the 800 calories daily. They needed 5,000 calories or more for hard work, 12 hours a day. almost 7 days a week. And look at this, the view on the camp. Photography. There was over 200 barracks, capacity even up to 30,000 prisoners with also service. And the worst thing was the roll call twice daily. Standing at the roll call ground for 3 hours, appearing at 4 a.m. and other maltreatment. It was that I'd witness of a boy aged 16 being hanged for singing at work the Russian folk song Chupchik. He was hanged 3 times because the rope broke twice, and all of us gathered at the ground had to watch it. That was the testimony of Halina Scholz. That is the Russian boy. There's a such that it was hanged for singing Chupchik in the roll call ground. It's also very important testimony. And many such. On that part was the industrial part. There were also workshops of Hugo Boss, and that was the second positive German, much more the Austrian and German, Julius Madrich. They're making uniforms and shoes, and the Jews did some sabotage of the German shoes, but I cannot these guys unveil the all facts. You could take the live guided tour, then I tell you what sabotage the Jews there. But he saved 800 Jews, and Yad Vashem gave him title The Righteous Among Nations. That is the Julius Madrich. No book, no film about him. And we getting close the Shari Dome, the Grey House. That was the prison for prisoners of Camp PLASZOW, run by the SS. And there was such also similar cells like in the death block in Auschwitz. That was the part of Museum KL PLASZOW, that is the rearranging. And look at this is the photography, showing the educational labor camp for Poles. You see the barracks, they got the windows, much bigger windows. Interesting. It's on the Hugo Boss connective, but a positive story about Hugo Boss. And have a look, the barracks, they're very visible, they were for Polish prisoners. Now, a testimony of Gustav Głowacki. Each barrack consisted of the 2 rooms. A barrack held about 1,000 people in a total, in one barrack. There were 4 barracks in our isolated camp. 1 of 2 additional barracks were occupied by hostages arrested on the 6th August. These barracks were located a bit over our camp, also at the roll call ground. Thus, the number of hostages might reach 5,000 to 6,000. Yes, that's what they said. But but he said that is such the testimony of the Polish part of the camp. That's why the camp they also the sectors for Jews, Jewish men, Jewish women, children, for Poles. They got also barbed wire with high tension, 400 volt. That's why between the sectors there was also barbed wire. That's why they couldn't communicate easily. And the memorial commemorating Poles shot the first execution. They were accused of the sabotage of German train, stealing sugar, and they were shot here in front. And he was the camp administration office on the place. And the quarry number 1, but it's now the full bush green. And we got our grey house. Look at this grey house over there. That is such like a number 1 part of visiting, and the former old new Jewish cemetery with tombstone Matzevot of Sarah Schenirer. I want to show you the map of the general map. It's not so very good project. There should be better design, but as you see, it's also from above. You could see, and now we walked from over there. There we see funeral parlor, roll call ground, and then we walking to Amont Get Villa over there. Amont Get Villa was there, and a huge camp, 80 hectares, Camp KL PLASZOW. Yes, still big problem. But we got also this education is the way they informing them about it. The such I know from the museum PLASZOW, they are volunteer workers. And have a look. That was the biggest steel watchtower for SS, but was the information about the air raids. And the Jews had to build the special air shelter for SS, like a Jewish cave, so-called, behind. And here is the important thing, because above that range you see the Amon-Get villa with balcony. It's such only one place. Look at this. There is visible Amon-Get like a ghost appearing up, and you see prisoners walking with stones at the edge of quarry. You see the prisoners walking up. Now I quote what the Spira said. I work at the quarry on the night shift. My shoes were completely worn out to the extent that it was almost barefoot. I work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the hardest frost in the open air. Work in the quarry was so tough and horrible that it filled the camp with terror. Yes, that was such the most horrible weather that is now is nothing compared with the people alive here. In the winter, frozen feet, temperature, even wind chill factor like a minus 30 degrees Celsius. Infeasible to keep walking in the such weather condition. Happy flat behind, but we're walking few steps to see what's going on at the Amon-Get villa. The next villa. That part was the former prison, now is adopted for the museum PLASZOW. Maybe I think we do any live stream with the opening the museum. Second part of museum is underground museum remembrance and remembrance. That crossing is very important because that direction, like a white car, is Jerusalem Street. We came from that direction. That was the Abraham Street, the part. That street is going to the Lidl now, but was the warehouse of bulb warehouse that was the robbed goods of Jews. And here there was the former SS Straße. And we walking such a former SS Straße. The streets also were paved with the tombstones from the destroyed Jewish graveyard. That was, imagine how painful for Jews was walking to work over the street paved with tombstones. Perfect. Yes, thank you. Live stream event as a short, and then we getting to the number 22. I done a few films about the Amon-Get. You saw the films also in time of COVID. I'm staying in front of villa talking about him. Is still the bad character from Hollywood films. Schindler is depicted as the good the angel, and Amon-Get as the devil. He got the short form money. And one moment, but you see the other buildings for the SS crew were here along the street. The villa was old Jewish owner before war, 1934, and the villa was called Dom pod skałą, the house under rock. But the Amon-Get adopted it for himself. In Vienna style, he organized rich parties, invited officials. Also, Oskar Schindler was invited, and even Oskar Schindler, according to David Crow, picked up some girls for Amon-Get. Even his future wife, Kate Ruth, was the pick of Oskar Schindler. And have a look. That is the Red Villa. Now is the private investor since 2018, completely refurbished. I saw the black Porsche staying there last, but now I see another German mark Mercedes, black Mercedes, and I think Porsche or BMW. Amon-Get, I think there's going on the BMW, and that was the former SS Straße, now Hetmana Street. and Amon got villa. You see the date 1934, and I recommend you film of Helen Rosenzweig. She got the film together with daughter of Amon Goeth, Monika Herdwig, Inheritance, the BBC film. Or just, but you don't see from that side balcony. Balcony was on the other side, but there's no road adjacent to the villa on the other side. This is such only from that side you see the proper view. You know, is the slowly time is running. My group is slowly waiting, American group today. That's why it's then infeasible to take the hours, the live streams. I try to keep pace of my live streams also with matters connecting with Dragon maybe. There's the closer, because always the tour started in the city center. Here's a little bit at the edge of the town. Thank you for tipping, sharing and appreciating your company. All the best. Big thanks, Dankeschön und auf Wiedersehen till the next time. Bye bye. Thank you for watching and stay with Tom Guide Kraków. Thank you. Bye bye.